I know you're wondering where I'm at right now. Don't wonder, because I'm about to tell you. Just touched down in London. Came all the way here for TTFT to figure out, are the rumors true? Are the myths real of the half man, half wolf, werewolf, American in London? They sent me here to investigate what's really happening. Make it a little dangerous. I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for all of it. Talk to you guys soon. Or maybe not. Just touched down in London town. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, this is a triple B review. Beautiful black bloke. That's right, baby. We're in London town, baby. We're in London, baby. Good day, blokes. Still, this how we get down. Here we are in the UK, doing this all for TTFT, putting my life on the line from country to country to tackle the myth of the man beast. Duval in this bitch. Yeah, Duval is in this bitch. It's a lonely, cold, dark night. Mr. Royal, an American Royal in London, here for TTFT. Flew across the pond to talk to you guys about one of the greatest classics / myths ever known to man. The American Werewolf in London. Here we go. I feel like something's chasing me. American Werewolf in London, 1981. John Landis, starring, if you want to say that, Griffin Dunne and David Naut. Let's go ahead and get this right out of the box. Those effects might have held up over 40, 50 years. That acting did not. I'm just going to be honest with you. Listen, that acting fucking sucked, man.
Thanks again.
He's only the Wolfman for so much, but I got to tell you, David Naut, when you were acting as the Wolfman was like that acting was better than when you were just a human being. First off, you were the shittiest friend in the fucking world.
You gonna help me up or what?
How dare you, the moment danger strikes at the beginning of the film, leave your so-called best friend? Like, I mean, you left him, literally. And then, as some self-relief, you decided maybe you'd come back. But then it was too late. When I say the effects really do hold up, it is a joy to really watch him change into the Wolfman, especially that time. And that's more so of a shout out to the actual special effects department. They're the ones that really was doing some cutting edge things back then with how they were able to work with London skyline, how they were actually able to work with balloons and prosthetics back then. It was really cutting edge back then, so that was really, really great. I want to talk about the relationship between the two best friends. When you look at the relationship between them, I just wish if two other people could have done this film, I think it would have been better. If you've ever seen Weekend at Bernie's, the two leads from that, and this would have already been a classic years ago.
Shut up.
They're on this trip for 3 months, which looks like in their backpacks, there's clothes for like fucking 3 days. And trust me, I should know. And then they come across this house in this cottage area, a little bit right outside of London, if you will. So they meet these people and they come in there and they notice there's this demonic cross on the wall.
What kind of ad is that for a pub?
Now, if you've ever seen Supernatural, any type of read any Supernatural lore, it's a 5-point star.
Look at that.
The guy says something like,
well, maybe the owners are from Texas.
While this is on my mind, and you know what? This is why I brought it up. David, you're an editor. If you need to go back and rewatch this, David. Those cuts were so rough to watch. Those jump cuts were just absolutely insane to watch. Like, why? Like, I don't know who the editor was on this, or maybe somebody else did it in post. I don't know, but it's really tough to watch. Certain scenes don't end the right way. They just jump into something else. Now, shout out to Nurse Price, or should I say Nurse Price is right. From the beginning when you meet her, there's this phrase I heard that our kids say, hoe is life. She's a recovering sex addict or something like that. Come on, Tyler, man, I need this.
Taylor, come on, man.
She's giving her, at one point she's just said it out her mouth in the film. She's just like, well, I've only been with like 7 lovers, 5 of them, one night. She said something, the mouth's off. All I know is it's been more cocks than love. And I think she's okay with that. I mean, whatever. And so that's another thing. Like, she wants the beef Ferrigno, the Frankfurter, so bad that she brings this guy, this werewolf, home from the hospital after his accident because, spoiler alert, his friend dies, but not really.
David, you're hurting my feelings.
And he survives, gets marked with the wolf, if you will. Now, I will say this. At first, I was really intrigued. I was like, you know what? Because it shows, like, a little bit of foreshadowing of him running through the woods and things like that. But, like I guess, you know, him being the wolf before he remembers it. And at that point in the film, very early, I was like, okay, all right, we'll see what happens here. But, again, when he was doing those things, he technically wasn't speaking. So I guess the acting was just whatever. So, anyway, she brings him home from the goddamn hospital. Like, you take all your patients home from discharge, the pregnant women, the leukemia victims, just anybody who just is having a bad day gets released. As long as you can get some cock, you the doc. Quote me on that. As long as you can get some cock, you're the doc. The writing was actually okay. The writing was pretty okay, I'll say that, because there would be certain times to where someone would make a comment and there would be a one-liner after it. One example was they're in the pub telling a story and the guy says, hey, did you ever see that? He was like, yeah, man, it was bloody. He was like,
bloody awful if you ask me.
This is one of those movies to where it's starting to get so bad that it's good. You can't really understand how bad things are happening, but it's entertaining. You got to finish the ride. It's just kind of, it's bad. It's getting bad at this point. You have to remember, I'm critiquing this, I'm really looking at it from the cinematography, the writing. This is a John Landis film, but with that being said, John Landis went on to do some amazing things. This was the worst attempt at suicide I've ever seen in my life. After about like the 60th time they fucked in this film, him and Nurse Price and all this freaky shit she's doing, he all of a sudden realized he is the Wolfman because he wakes up in the zoo like it's a grown man version of the Jungle Book or some shit like that. He's in the zoo and he's sleeping next to wolves and you can see all these other things. So at this point, he still does not know that he's the Wolfman. I lost time in Primal. I lost time.
I've lost my mind. I woke up in the zoo.
So the Wolfman here, played by David Naughton, he would say he would basically black out. He didn't know what happened. But when he found out that he was responsible for these murders, he goes and calls some sister that we've never met, some 10-year-old sister that for some reason is home by herself. But hey, it was 1981. Those were crazy times back then.
And I loved Max, and I love you, too. No, I do.
At this point, he calls his sister, or whoever this girl is. He might even have the wrong fucking number. He said something I hadn't heard in a long time when he picks up the phone, too. Hey.
Yes, operator, I'd like to call the United States and reverse the charges.
He's basically saying, tell mom, tell dad, tell everybody I love them, and all this other shit. And all that. It's just so bad. But then, I thought it was just his vocal acting that was just so bad. I just saw the worst attempt at suicide I've ever seen in my life. Kevorkian is rolling around in his grave and how you tried to cut your wrist with that butter knife. If you're going to be about that shit, be about that shit. If you want to kill yourself, you fucking. He gets locked up. Not that. I know I've been giving you a bad hard time, Mr. Nolan. I really have. Listen, I'm sorry. Maybe you've gotten better. I'll look on your IMDb to see what other things you've done. I mean, hey, just keep it up, man. We all can get better at our craft. I mean, you can. It takes time, takes practice, takes effort.
Shut up.
As bad as his acting was, he did give me one golden nugget that I fucking love. And it teaches you about the culture of the UK. I'll say this about the UK. It's like the whole city it's like we're from the South, so it's Southern hospitality. But in London, people are just so nice. You rarely see any arguments or anything like that. So with that being said, because there are no guns allowed, their cops don't even carry guns. It's like a baton, and don't slip on that baton. I mean, a lead baton can fuck your day up. Ask Nancy Kerrigan. So with that being said, why? I know I've been talking about how bad his acting is. Hello, nurse. I wish that was Nurse Price. God damn. Okay. He almost made his acting was an F, but this one line brought his whole performance back to maybe a C-. There's a point to where he says he's trying to get arrested. He runs into the court. So the cops are so nice, they're not just going to arrest you for anything. You damn near have to commit murder to get arrested.
Officer, I killed those people last night.
So he literally jumps up and down and says, Queen Elizabeth is a man. Prince Charles is a...
Queen Elizabeth is a man! Prince Charles is a faggot! Winston Churchill was bullshit!
So when you hear somebody say something like that in a movie, which would never fucking be allowed nowadays, and it's ironic because I just got here and apparently the Queen is gone, but thankfully, the King is still here.
Shakespeare's French! Fuck! Shit! Cut!
When he jumps up and does that, like, he brought so much emotion out of me because I knew what he was trying to do, try to get arrested, but it was just like, oh my gosh. So he brought it back up with that line to a C-. But I will say this, the movie is just so fucking pervy, man. It is so pervy. Like at one point when he finds out he really is the Wolf Man, the nurse Price comes into the hospital room and she's like, is everything okay, David? He's like,
I'm a werewolf.
and then tongues her. And they hadn't even fucked yet. They had done nothing. So I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, she's breaking protocol by taking patients home. He should be arrested for fucking, there's got to be some form of unwanted touching or premeditated tongue rape or some shit like that. So who the fuck knows? So everybody knows he's the Wolfman now. There's a doctor that's trying to save him. There is, and again, it just shows how fucking slutty and in need Nurse Price is because she knows he's the Wolfman now. She's like, we can work it out. We can work together. What can we work out?
I love you, David.
And if no one remembers this, as if 80s movies weren't raunchy enough, before they actually get into the town and get to that little bar, they're speaking about some girl that the lead character, or one of the lead characters, she's like, man, you mean the girl I love? He's like, you mean the girl you want to fuck? I'm like, all right, 1981, baby. Because it's so strange to see things like that because you don't know. Oh, no. We're entering the bowels of the beast. Oh, God. This is where all the stories have talked about it. Could it be true? Could it not be true? I don't know, man. I don't know.
They say this is where some of the sightings and sounds have happened. The underground. As you can see, it looks like some type of wolf prints just tore into this. Who knows what's going on over here? All I just know is that it's crazy. Too crazy. The underground. These people have no idea what's about to happen to them. Everybody get fucking mauled. Oh, look, one of those lights. As you see, these are some of the same tunnels he dove into. The transformation of becoming man to beast. These tracks can't even slow him down. I'm out here risking it for everyone at all times.
This isn't funny. They're going to catch you on CCTV. I promise. Shit, I gotta go. Shit. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. No! No! Please, no. Please. No. No. 3, 2, 1. Back to Nurse Price. Or should I say, Nurse Miss Not Nice. It's so crazy. I don't know. And then they're standing in a small bed. I don't know. And I'm sorry. I hope no kids around. Earmuffs. Listen. I've never seen anything that's X-rated. Now, at this point, all the kids should have turned out. I've seen so many things X-rated, but when I tell you that was the worst, and I do mean the worst, sex scene I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I honestly want to go interview that lady and bring her on the show and ask, were you comfortable with this guy, like, kissing on you? Because just go back and look at her face in some of these moments. It's like, you can tell they had to do, like, 4 takes, long takes, and then cut them together to find the most, not, I wouldn't use the word passionate, but maybe, I would probably go with most uncomfortable moment. Like, she never gets, like, into it. I think the only time she's into it when she's thinking about herself. And again, it's just like this became soft porn at some point. Oh, I take that back. It didn't become soft porn. There was actually porn in the fucking film. People, The 80s, man. And it was 81. We were just getting started. His friend returns to tell him from the dead that, hey, listen, this is what's happening, guy. You are now in the process of being turned into a wolf, and you're the last of the wolf line. And if you do not, if you don't kill yourself or die, then I'm going to have to travel to Earth like this forever, and that's not cool.
I was murdered, an unnatural death. And now I walk the earth in limbo until the werewolf's curse is lifted.
And this is what kills me about that, is that they also frivolously throw around the suicide joke in this film. Like it almost goes out of its way to show you how crazy it could be with the suicide. Like, I mean, I promise you, and I'm not exaggerating here, it's at least 40 suicide jokes in there.
What shall I do?
Suicide. Take your life, David. Kill yourself.
You must take your own life. I could hang myself.
There's one point foreshadowing here towards the end of the film to where he's sitting in the movie theater, a la No Pee Wee Herman, watching a fucking porn, and his friend is telling him, while he looks like the crypt keeper, like he's like, not only am I here in the afterlife, there are several other people that you've killed in the afterlife as victims, and they're always telling him, you know what, you can kill yourself, get run over by a bus, use a gun, do this, do that. Which is funny though, because everyone knows in the UK they can't use guns now. Especially with that CCTV. It would have been much easier to catch the Wolfman back then if they had a CCTV.
Go away.
At this point, I'm starting to get real upset with how ridiculous the acting is in this film. I keep saying this. The acting, it's not Nurse Price. The doctor was okay. It's just really the main lead character, Mr. Dalton.
Shut up.
His acting, Jesus Christ, man. Oh, and give me a fucking break. Again, when he turns to the Wolfman, classic. For that day and era, that's 10 out of 10. But right before he does it, I don't know whether someone stabs him in the back or he had a bad acid drop. He just out of nowhere, it's just like he's sitting there reading a book. No, just like, oh, I'm about to feel it. Like John Landis, how did you watch this and not see that the beats were all off on that? He's just like, he's sitting there being all happy, and I'm trying not to do this on the streets so people think I'm fucking crazy. He's just sitting there, and all of a sudden he's like, ah!
Jesus Christ!
The pain! I'm like, bro, people don't even get headaches that fast, okay? What the fuck is wrong with you? Who allowed this to just, I mean, anyway, man, I just really can't get past it. But what I really love, like I said, when they get to that scene, when he finally does turn into Wolfman, it's one of the greatest things ever for two reasons. Number one, we don't get to see him acting anymore for quite some time. And number two, like that transformation, and all jokes aside, is so brilliant and amazing, and it shows you to it. And then that's why when we see movies today with crappy effects, we hate them. Because like if they were able to be practical back then, I'm more of a practical fan over CGI. But we hate them when it's like that. Hate. So, we're finally coming to the end of the film. Now, here's everything that's happened. His best friend's dead, but not dead.
You're hurting my feelings.
The lead actor can't act.
Shut up.
He had a great one-liner that brought him back to a C-.
Queen Elizabeth is a man!
The doctor is probably the most concerned and best acting person consistently throughout the film.
Please, remain sane.
Shout out to the wolf. And again, the wolf is the greatest thing about the film. What I will say this is that, again, the greatest horror stories to me don't always show that the animal or the predator or whatever it is that they're running from the entire time. That doesn't always happen. So we get to the point to where David actually is trying to tell them, listen, you need to arrest me, you need to get me out of here. I need to not be around anybody. But eventually, of course, he becomes a Wolfman again. He becomes a Wolfman in the theater. Crazy. Everybody's crazy, but he becomes a Wolfman in that theater again while talking to Jack and all the other people who tell him to kill himself in multiple ways. And he tries to warn people, get away from me.
Run!
And you know what? I mean, his act wasn't that bad to where those motherfuckers should have known, hey, I mean, he's literally changing into another human being, not a human being, into an animal in front of these people. And they're just sitting there like, why? Like, they're just sitting there. Like, it's so fucking weird. David goes real wolfy at the point. He's wolfed out into the movie theater. And they drop these little things down like they're closing up a mom and pop shop for $95 as if that's going to stop a fucking wolf. I don't know if this film should have been called American Werewolf in London or UK drivers that can't drive around an American werewolf while in London. Because when I tell you the kill count in this film is probably Wolfman, anywhere from 7 to 12, you know, give or take a kidney here, liver there. When he escapes and he's walking the streets, the UK drivers, for some reason, lose their shit. Some guy flies either out of a bus or a window and falls face down and gets trampled by a car going at least 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. I was like, now that was worth the price of admission. And so when you see stuff like that, there's so many deaths at the end of it. It was just crazy. Now, surprisingly, the doctor goes and gets Nurse Price. I guess she was free.
Sister Hobbs said there's a disturbance in Piccadilly Circus involving some sort of mad dog.
They then go to the city to where she's now looking for David. She aimlessly jumps out the car, or the Wolfman. I don't know. Fuck it at this point. This is London, baby. That fashion. And with that being said, so they go, and she goes to look for him. And she finds him. They have the Wolfman cornered in an alley. He's cornered.
They're going to kill you.
She looks at him like, let me help you. And you don't know whether he's going to let her help or not. But he growls a little bit. And the damn whole UK SWAT team lights him up, as they should. But you know what the crazy part about it is? The scariest thing about this film? It just cuts to the end after that. Just cut. Who the fuck greenlit this shit?
Good movie. Mm-hmm.
They were greenlighting anything in the 80s. You know what I remember? Okay, this is why it is. You know, Woodstock was going on. A lot of scientific experimentation was going on at that time. So all these people that had money were on drugs and Quaaludes. Quaalude probably is a drug, depending on what your lifestyle choice is. The point being is that this movie, yes, it should have been greenlit. Yes, it's a classic. And sometimes that's the beautiful part about seeing it. It's now literature for other filmmakers to learn from. Because at the same time, some of the stuff they were doing in this film was new, but film has been around for a long time. And a bad cut is a bad cut, man. Bad acting is bad acting. So overall, if you ask me what I give this film, 1 through 5, man, 2. Yeah. That's me being nice.
Shut up.
And I'll be honest with you, what truly saved this film was, I believe the writing was pretty good, but the effects really, and I love that because guess what? Do you know why you see all of those names at the end of films? Because it's not always the director. It's not always the producer. It's not always the actors. Sometimes different people get to shine and their craft gets to shine based off certain things about this film. And I'm just happy that the special effects people got all their shine for this film. So, because again, special effects wise, for the time, I give this film a 5, special effects wise. But overall, damn. God damn.
You're hurting my feelings.
If you love film, if you love movies, just come check out the show, man. Listen, we did this on our own dime to get here and say we love film that much, man. I wish David could have been here, his wife could have been here, my daughter, all our people who really supported the show could really be here. But unfortunately, it's just me, an American man, or a warrior, should I say, in London. Hey, Dave, guess what? Imagine that, me in London, on the telly.
I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking through the streets of Soho in the rain. He was looking for...
Look at this Pete Coattail us we broke.
Folks, gonna get a big dish of...
It all started.
Ah, ooh, werewolves of London. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh.
It's getting crazy out here. The investigation continues. Who knows how many victims slashed, clawed, mauled.
Better not let him in. Little old lady got mutilated late last night.
Living in here. World of Darkness. The 5-point star. There's even one here in fucking London. I just fucking saw it, David. Ew. It's so dope. The fuck, man. The slave shepherd, the fucking wolf, whatever. The sheep, the slaughtered sheep. Now behold the Lamb of God. Whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Ooh, werewolves of London.
So, just gonna know wolf sighting. Crazy.
Ooh, werewolves of London. Ooh, draw blood.
What was that? 3, 2, 1, over and out.